Did you know that Cozumel has more than one cruise port? I've been to Puerta with Carnival, and I did Punta Langosta with MSC. Being that a lot of cruise ships go to Cozumel quite often, if you're cruising a lot, more than likely you're going to go to Cozumel more than one time. And I have to say, trying out both ports were totally, completely different experiences for me. It was almost like we were in a different place. In this video, I'm going to show you the differences between both ports and how different both experiences was for me. My name is Shane with Mapbound, and I'm bringing you 25 years plus of international travel experience. And thank you so much for watching. At Carnival, we did an excursion, so we swam with the dolphins. But then we decided to self-explore when we were at Cozumel the second time, but ended up getting a private tour around the island. The first time I was in Cozumel, we were on Carnival, and we went to the Costa Maya port there. Now, one thing that has always been on my bucket list is the swim with the dolphins. So we did an excursion. It included food, drink, as well as you swam with dolphins, and then highlight, it also had a little snorkel area. None of this I've done before, so I decided to go ahead and book that excursion. Now, as you walk off the ship, there are going to be a lot of shops, people who want you to take your picture with them. Just a normal thing you would find at a port. Now, since we had an excursion, but didn't have much time to explore the actual port itself, first thing we did when we got off the ship was look for our excursion. And a lot of times the excursions will tell you where you're supposed to meet the person, along with the time that you're supposed to do so. With this excursion, we had about 20 minutes beforehand, so we did a little walking around, took some pictures, just about had only enough time for just that. But then we were off on our excursion. Now, this dolphin excursion was amazing. So I thought we were just swimming with the dolphins, but they also made them so where you can pose with the dolphins, have the dolphin kiss me on the cheek, and then you also get to ride the dolphin. Now, of course, these dolphins work for food. Everything seemed like they were very well taken care of, and the dolphins seemed like they were happy to do it. They got work for that fish. Now, on a side note, I actually had LASIK done, so I only have to wear glasses every once in a while, but my best friend didn't have LASIK done, so she is blind as a bat like I used to be. If you have an option to wear contacts, I highly recommend that you do so, because they will tell you cannot wear your glasses in the pool, as anything like jewelry or metal on the glasses can hurt the dolphins. So at first she was a little upset because she couldn't see the dolphins very well. I mean, if you've ever been blinded as a bat, I go to the eye doctor in the big E before LASIK anyways. That big E you see at the eye doctor, I couldn't even see it, just a big black blob. So now they didn't let us record video while we were doing the dolphin excursion, so I only had pictures to give you. Now, this excursion also included food and also had a snorkeling area that you can go to that was included in it. The ARP sisters didn't want to go snorkeling, so they went ahead and went to where the food was. So as they went to do that, we went and tried the snorkeling area. But to let you know, with the snorkels, they basically have a tub that they have full of sanitizer water, and then they have another tub beside it. So you put it in the sanitizer water, you can rinse it off in the tub beside it. Because there wasn't really any training or anything. It was just kind of, here's your equipment, here's the area. It was roped off with like a net, so no big sharks or anything can get in. And there were a few fish down there, but nothing that I'd say was really impressive. Now, one thing I knew, and this is probably another reason why they don't let us take our cameras into the tank, is they're going to sell you the pictures afterward. Now, at the time I was there, they weren't offering video, because I probably would have bought the video if that was an offer, but they did offer the photos. Now, the photos were expensive. It was about $250 USD, which we all four split so that we can all enjoy the pictures. Now, I will have to say that the lady did offer, if we paid in cash, that she would take $50 off, but it was a hush-hush deal, very secretive. So to me, I feel like she was going to pocket some of the money. Either way, whatever. I don't know the whole logistics on that part, but we didn't have that much cash on us, so we had to use our card anyways. Now, this dolphin excursion really wasn't that far from the cruise port. It's probably maybe a 10-minute drive from where that port was to where the excursion was. Now, when we got back to the cruise port, we did have a little more time to take a few extra pictures. They had some fun little areas that, tourists can take pictures. So we did at least enjoy a little bit of the time doing that. And we always made sure we stayed on ship time. Not only one person, but several of us set our alarms on our phone to be sure that nobody will miss the ship. Now, this experience was totally amazing. I enjoyed every bit of it, and I definitely highly recommend swimming with the dolphins if you ever in Cozumel. Now, the second time that I was in Cozumel, we decided to book MSC instead of Carnival, as it was actually a cheaper price, and Carnival we did 5 nights on, but this time we were actually going to get 7 nights. This was also our first MSC cruise, so we thought we'd give them a try. Now, MSC does dock at a different port. And it's also by the Royal Village Mall, as well as where they have the boardwalk. Now, this port was actually really, really small, but because the mall was right next to it, it actually made it feel really big. So, because you basically got out the ship, there's a pharmacy there, and then you leave the port. When you leave the port, you're going to be on the second floor of the mall. And when we got there, we went ahead and looked around and saw stuff. Side note, most of the time, the first places you see are going to be the most expensive. The farther down you go, usually you're going to find the cheaper option. And this isn't just in Cozumel. This is in a lot of ports that I've been to. So we looked around, did a little shopping. And this port, since we already been to Cozumel, we thought, well, let's try doing a self-guided tour or figure something out when we get there. Being that we've been to Cozumel before, we already knew that there's going to be plenty of options when you get to port. So what we ended up doing is that there was a private dune buggy tour that was right there at the bottom of the stairs when you go from the second floor down to the bottom floor. So I thought, let's give it a whirl. Let's see what happens. We talked to them. There's a group of them. It looks very professional. I wasn't feeling any bad vibes, so I'm like, okay, let's do this. Now, since I do travel with the ARP sisters, they have a little bit of mobility issues. No big deal. So they did make sure that the driver knew that he needed to be as close to the building as possible. So we did end up waiting about 15-20 minutes for that to happen, but totally worth it because we basically walked right out and he was parked right there. Now, here's the other thing about this, though, that we didn't even realize when we did it, but the dune buggy doesn't have doors. So you literally have to climb into the window to get in this vehicle. Well, in the mobility issues, that might be a little more challenging. And so the driver was really nice. He helped my mom out, and then I helped my aunt out. And both of them said that they're fine, that they're enjoying the trip. So we went ahead and continued on. Now, this dune buggy tour, first thing we did is there was a couple stops, that they always tend to do on excursions where they're trying to sell you something. One was the tequila factory, which, yes, they're trying to sell you when you get there, but it's still a great experience. We tried a couple of tequilas, and the guy that was helping us was so funny and hilarious. I really actually wanted to buy tequila, but I want to drink it. So I didn't buy any tequila. Now, my mom didn't really want to try the tequila, so she actually was the person behind the camera while my aunt and I partaked in the tequila tasting. He gave us several samples of several different kinds and gave us kind of a rundown of what that tequila was made from, what kind of guava. Not only was the tasting really fun, but they also gave us a little tour of the tequila factory, how it's made. So it's also kind of like a museum too as well. And the tequila factory was actually really beautiful. It had this really awesome garden area that I would have loved to sit in. But we wanted to move on so that we can, of course, make it to the ship back on time. So after that, we did drive about, I'd say, another 20 minutes. Our tour guide was funny. He kept, there's no windows. So he's like, do you want me to turn the Mexican air conditioning on? And she was just, obviously, it was the air coming into the windows. But it was just funny how he was saying everything. It was just a really good time. So as we're driving, we're talking with the guy, and he's taking us through the main drag of Cozumel to the other side of the island, where a lot of people do go ahead and drive around that road. Basically, you see a lot of the ocean while you're there. There's also a few stops you can, with a private tour, he's going to stop whenever you want. You say, this is where we want to stop, or let's go ahead and stop here. And then he waits for you. So you are in charge. You can stop where you want, and then of course leave when you want to as well. So now there was one stop that had a restaurant, and at this point we also needed to use the restroom. So it was really good that we went there. We weren't hungry though, so we decided just to walk around that beach area, took a look-see. I climbed up on some old coral. I don't recommend doing that because it really didn't feel stable, but there was a lot of people doing it. So, but it was very soft, and I thought at any moment this could fall in. So I went up there for the picture, and then I was like, I better just get off of this thing. Any other time I see coral like that, I will not be climbing on it. Now, after that, we drove around some more. We looked at some more, ocean view sites, little drop-off, scenic outlooks. By the time the road turned, because of the island was, ending, we drove about another 5 minutes, and that's when you started seeing, resorts, started seeing buildings and shops and restaurants. We also drove by the port that we were on with Carnival, so we got to see where we were at the last time we were there, so we got an idea of how close we were at this other port. Now I wouldn't call the Puerta Maya port very walkable. It's walkable, of course, in the port, but once you leave the port, you're really going to need to get a cab or rideshare service to get to the main part of Cozumel. Now, don't get me wrong, that port is super nice. There's plenty to do there, so more than likely you may not even have to leave the port and to enjoy yourself. Things you can do is definitely a very walkable port. I mean, you literally have the main drag of the beach right there. And when we went, bonus, they were getting ready for Mardi Gras, so they started having some of the Mardi Gras decorations out, so that was really cool too as well. So as we passed that port that we've been to before, we also saw the dolphin place that we had our excursion at. It was on that main road too. He took us, and then I'd say it was about 5 minutes more, and we were at the mall. This is, of course, where that part of the trip ended. And at this point, we still had a little bit of time, so we went ahead and did a little more shopping, and then we moseyed on back to the ship. Both ports were amazing. Both experiences were amazing, and I felt like I was on a totally different vacation than I was the first time I went to Cozumel. Now, the DMW price at that time was around $50, and then, of course, we tipped the driver and then just split it 3 ways. Now, I'm not saying that one port is better than the other. Both of them were amazing, and I had great experiences at both. They really were totally different experiences. So now, if I wanted to do more self-explore kind of a trip to Cozumel, I think I'd want to be at the Punta Langosta port near the mall. That way you can walk around, decide if you want to get an excursion or not, and then, you know, basically do your own thing. Side note, one of the things I do want to do the next time I'm in Cozumel is I actually do want to walk that beach area that I was telling you about, because it really looked neat from the road, but I wanted to explore that a little more. So I will be going back to Cozumel. And when you start cruising a lot, you're going to notice that you're going to be going to a lot of places over and over again. For instance, Masa Bahamas, for instance, and Cozumel are almost on all cruise lines itineraries. So chances are you're going to be going to those ports over and over again. So I've also done a review of Masa Bahamas too as well, so I'll leave that in the end screen for you to click on at the end of the video. My name is Shane with Mapbound. Please follow us on Facebook, check out our website, and check out my cruise recommended products. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, travel is life.
Watching the game and smoking a blunt. I mean, cigar.
I mean, I know. Thank you.
I recommend do not share with nobody. This, I only share this with my 3 best friends, me, myself, and Annie. And you. Don't tell nobody. This is for special vacations. Wedding, anniversary, honeymoons, birthdays, holidays. That's it. Sipping. Do not take a shot. You take a shot, you're gonna start acting like Mexican. You take 2 shots, you will become a Mexican. You take 3 shots, you wake up with the Mexican. Nobody can become with the Mexican. They're crazy.